In Brazil, the Senate has spoken. Dilma Rousseff is president no more. One leader removed, an entire nation left to pick up the political pieces. I'm Brent Goff, and this is The Day. She knew the numbers and the senators were against her from the start. Tonight, Dilma Rousseff is the first female president in Brazil to be kicked out of office.
Votaram sim 61 senadores. Votaram não 20 senadores.
Rousseff may not be history, but the corruption and her convictors remain. Also on the show.
I say quite simply, Germany is a strong country, and our motto must be, we have managed so much already, we can do this, we can do this. And if there are hurdles in our way, we must overcome them.
It was a rally call meant to speak to Germany's strengths. It has left the chancellor weaker and a nation feeling anything but stronger.
You guys are great. You have hundreds of billions for banks, billions for refugees, but when I want a pension after 40 years, you say, we've got no money. That's the mood in Germany today.
And a soccer swan song. He's done battle on the field and won the sport's greatest prize. Now Germany captain Sebastian Schweinsteiger has played his last match for his country. Welcome to the program, everyone. We start the day that will go down in history as the final fall of a president. Dilma Rousseff was removed from office today. Senators convicted her on charges she lied about the country's budget deficit, an impeachable crime in Brazil. Rousseff maintained all along her innocence, pointing the finger at those who judged her today, saying right-wing politicians had staged a coup d'etat by ousting a democratically elected leader. We want you to take a look now at what happened inside the Senate chambers as the verdict was read.
Votaram sim 61 senadores. Votaram não 20 senadores.
Well, I'm joined now here at the big table by the Brazilian author, Rafael Cardoso. He is regarded around the world as one of Brazil's most insightful voices. Mr. Cardoso, it's good to have you on the show with us tonight. How did you feel when you saw what happened today in the Senate chambers when the results were announced?
Well, it's a bitter disappointment to everyone in my generation. We waited so long for democracy to come back in 1985, and we fought hard for that. And I think most of us expected that we would live out the rest of our lives in a real democracy. And I'm not sure we can say that Brazil is a real democracy anymore.
A lot of people have said that what we're seeing here is the end of leftist rule in Brazil. I mean, is leftist rule for you the same thing as democracy in Brazil? I mean,
no, absolutely not. I mean, the government that we've had these past 12, 13 years has not been leftist by any stretch of the imagination. Really, what the kind of social democracy that we've had in Brazil with the PT governments has been similar to what a center-right government would do in Europe. So I don't think the PT is very much to the left of, not as leftist as the opposition would like to make out.
Well, what do you think is going to happen now that we're going to have, Michel Temer, he's going to take over? Are you expecting any major changes?
Yes, sure. I mean, we know what's going to happen because he's been in power for 3 months. And in those 3 months, he's really turned the clock back 5-10 years. So social programs are being cut, educational programs are being cut, refugee programs are being cut.
But haven't those been the same complaints from people about Dilma Rousseff?
No,
the economy,
not.
they've said the economy doesn't work anymore. There's high unemployment. There's no money for social programs?
No, there is money, and the social programs have been very successful. Specifically, the Bolsa Familia took 30 million people out of poverty. And I think that's really been a hugely successful program. The UN recognizes it's one of the most important social programs of the last decades. And that's exactly what's being targeted now. I mean, it's not about the economy. It's about really moving back to the 1960s. I'm seeing things like racial equality, affirmative action, education, social, cultural programs. All of these things are being targeted and really surgically removed as if they were a sort of growth that
was like malignant. In society. And Rousseff said herself that she was the victim of a coup. She said that the right-wing politicians had orchestrated a coup d'etat by getting rid of a democratically elected president. Do you agree with? I mean, that's an incredibly strong statement.
I mean, people keep arguing about what coup d'etat means. I think that's really. I'm not interested in what the term we're going to use. What we see is happening here is that really using the flimsiest actual pretext possible, they've removed an elected leader from government.
Yeah, because she's accused of fudging the books a little bit, but
no one knows. You have to have a degree in accounting to even understand the accusations. It's like it's almost as if they're executing someone for traffic violation.
Well, and that's a good analogy. And what about the politicians, the senators who convicted her today? A vast number of those senators have either been convicted or are facing criminal investigations. And even the head of the Supreme Court also is someone who's facing investigations. I mean, is it possible for Brazilians to trust anyone in the political establishment at this point?
But, I mean, there are some good politicians in Brazil on both sides. But unfortunately, most of the people in Congress and in the judiciary are not trustworthy. They're not reliable. We have a congressman, a very notable, well-known congressman who's been governor of São Paulo in the past. Yeah. He's on Interpol. He's got a red notice from Interpol. He can't leave Brazil because he'd be extradited for money laundering. We have senators voting. We have a senator who voted today to impeach Dilma Rousseff, he has a helicopter with 450 kilos of cocaine in it. I mean, these are serious crimes.
These are serious crimes.
And so Dilma Rousseff has been impeached for supposedly, possibly, arguably fudging the books, as you say. Yeah. And she's being accused by people who are money launderers, drug traffickers. There's even a murder accusation against one congressman.
Yeah, I mean, so, the list is horrible. Yeah. I wanted to, just before we let you go, you said in an interview here in Berlin that you liked Berlin because everything works here and people say what they mean. You said in Brazil, people usually don't say what they're thinking. Does that explain or help us understand why a president who was elected twice can be now hated and impeached and removed from office? I
think maybe that's a huge psychological drama to talk about in less than a minute. Yeah. I think there is a culture in Brazil, especially among politicians, of lying really barefacedly. Mm-hmm. And Dilma Rousseff has done a lot of stupid things. Yeah. I don't think she's lied, not blatantly. And everyone who's accusing her, these are people we absolutely cannot trust.
We're going to have to wrap it up there. Rafael Cardoso, thank you very much for taking the time to be on the show. We appreciate it.